Good afternoon, friends. Welcome to Current Jots. This is Manifest IAS. So now we'll be covering what are the important aspects of agriculture and what are the key terms and what are the important schemes for prelims this year. Now coming to the first one, which is ENAM or Electronic National Agriculture Market. So this ENAM was supposed to be a pan-India market, what we say one nation, one market, and it was supposed to somewhat be an alternative to APMCs or Agriculture Produce Marketing Committees or Mandis. And also it is under, so in the exam, please remember that they'll ask you what is the nodal body, who is a responsible organization, which ministry it falls under. So we have to remember it is under Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare. And also what is the nodal body? It is Small Farmers Agribusiness Consortium. So the concept of SFAC. Now most of you might be thinking ENAM is under Ministry of Agriculture. But UPSC will ask you what is the nodal body. So nodal body is Small Farmers Agribusiness Consortium. So SFAC is the nodal body or the implementing agency of ENAM. With the help of, now ENAM platform is with the help of NFCL, which is Nagarjuna Fertilizer Corporation Limited. So again, it's a joint body which is Nagarjuna Fertilizer Cooperative along with SFAC under the guise of Ministry of Agriculture. Now, what does this ENAM cover? First of all, ENAM has various components. First of all, it is through a mobile app. Basically, farmers, traders, everybody will be able to download a mobile app to continue their trading. Then next, an important current affairs is there, where before NEFT, RTGS, check payments, everything was allowed as a payment system. But now even UPI payments, that is Bhim Pay, Aadhaar Pay or UPI Pay has been integrated with the ENAM. Then what do you mean by gate entry? Now gate entry is where you book your slots of trading before through the mobile app before you reach the mandi. So you will not have to waste time, for the trader to assess and sort your goods. So it is about your token system which is through your mobile app. So gate entry will guarantee the adequate availability of machines, packaging machines, grading softwares and all the logistic support. Then lastly, because ENAM is pan-India, so farmers should have flexibility of transferring materials from one state to another state. So what happens is Kisan Rath. Now Kisan Rath is a very innovative concept where it functions like a logistics portal where private players can offer their services in logistics to farmers to pick up their goods and deliver it to the buyer and sellers. So it is about Kisan Rath is nothing but a aggregation platform to provide logistics to farmers from farm gate to the mandi, from farm gate to the buyer, sellers to buyers, etc. So it's a very novel concept and it is picking up very fast. And because last mile connectivity was a major problem in ENAM system, Kisan Rath is helping solve those. And over time, we'll see that more than 22,000 Grameen Hats or Grameen Agriculture Market, so-called GRAMs, will be activated. And this Kisan Rath will leverage the use of technology, use of common platforms, shared services. So if we talk about agriculture in general, there's a concept called SPEED. SPEED, that is shared infrastructure, processing, education, entrepreneurship, and demand and diversification. Demand and diversification. So we have all these things possible through use of technology using ENAM app, through mobile payments, mobile app, gate entry, Kisan Rath. So this will only facilitate all these aspects of shared infrastructure, processing, education, entrepreneurship, demand and diversification. Now moving to the next scheme, which is National Mission on Sustainable Agriculture. Now NMSA was under a broader framework in NAPCC, that is National Action Plan on Climate Change. So NMSA, which is National Mission for Sustainable Agriculture, is a broad mandate under Sustainable Agriculture Mission under NAPCC, which has 8 missions in total. Now what are the key dimensions under National Mission for Sustainable Agriculture? So if we see, we have 10 dimensions, which is improved cropping, improved crop seeds, livestock, water use efficiency, livestock efficiency, your agriculture insurance, credit support, markets, accessible to information, livelihood diversification. So all these are important aspects which will cover important phases of life for a farmer, doubling farmers' income, etc. Again, it is using the idea of convergence, consolidating and subsuming all schemes which will help a particular cause. That is water use efficiency, soil health management, rain-fed area management. So it is about convergence of schemes, convergence and harmonization. See, what do we mean by convergence and harmonization? That if some scheme is helping achieve the same goal, if some scheme is helping achieve the same goal, then we can converge the scheme that is say Narega can be used for your farm pond building as well. Same way harmonization. Harmonization is that once you have a farm pond, you can have sub channels under Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana. So it is about convergence and harmonization between various government schemes, policies and programs. Now coming to the next one, which is National Mission on Sustainable Agriculture. How is it divided? First of all, it has various components such as rainfed area development, sub-mission on agroforestry, National Bamboo Mission, Soil Health Mission, and lastly, Climate Change and Sustainable Agriculture, Monitoring, Modeling and Networking System. So we have 5 sub-components under National Mission on Sustainable Agriculture, which is rainfed area. So in rainfed area, what do? Mainly you go for drip irrigation, sprinkler irrigation, so-called micro irrigation schemes. Then we go for check dams. We go for deepening of ponds, or what we say water harvesting structures. So this is mainly what you do in rain-fed agriculture. Then we have submission on agroforestry, because agroforestry is also supposed to be, boosting the income, which we have social forestry, agroforestry, community forestry. So this will also go a long way in boosting farmers' income, boosting the water table in the area. So it is about what we say, not only water harvesting, but also about sustainable agriculture practices, or what we say sustainable development in general. Then National Bamboo Mission will be especially helpful in northeast areas, hilly areas, and also bamboo has been reclassified from forest produce. So bamboo will also go in creating livelihoods. It's a big factor because first of all, it's a in tribal areas, it will be great empowering factor, and also bamboo will help to boost farmers' income because bamboo furniture is also sustainable. Then National Soil Health Management, which we see now, it is about your soil health card. It is about rotation practices, scientific practices, about sustainable use of the soil, because topsoil loss is the biggest loss which farmers suffer. Then lastly, we have to adapt agriculture in line with changing climatic trends such as rainfall patterns. Your cropping patterns have to also change so that we have adequate yield all the time. Then coming to the next scheme, which is about Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana. Now Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana is largely under 2 major heads, which is Har Khet Ko Pani. That means each and every farmer should get access to water, and it's also about using that water in an efficient manner, which is called more crop per drop. So there are 2 main things. One is water should reach the farmer, that is Har Khet Ko Pani, and the water should be used in the most efficient manner, that is more crop per drop. So it is also about amalgamating of the schemes. So where AIBP, which is Accelerated Irrigation Benefit Program of the Ministry of Water Resources, Integrated Watershed Management Program under Department of Land Resources, and also on-farm water management of Department of Agriculture have been amalgamated under Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana. So in UPSC, please be very careful. They have asked the nodal body which schemes fall under which ministry. So AIBP or Accelerated Irrigation Benefit Program is under Ministry of Water Resources. Same way, we have to be very careful which ministries are handling which scheme and the broader components of the scheme, what falls under Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana, what is more crop per drop, what is Har Khet Ko Pani. All these questions are very relevant for UPSC. Now coming to Parampragat Krishi Vikas Yojana, or nothing but organic farming scheme, where it is an elaborated component of soil health management. So as we discussed, there is National Sustainable Agriculture Mission or National Mission on Sustainable Agriculture, which has a key component which is called soil health management. So in order to boost soil health, we have a program called Parampragat Krishi Vikas Yojana, which is about organic farming. So it's a key component under National Mission on Sustainable Agriculture. So you might get a question as one of your statements that organic farming is also a key component under soil health, or it's a component under National Mission for Sustainable Agriculture, where both statements would be correct. Now, how is this done? First of all, adoption of participatory guarantee system through a cluster approach. So we make sure that some participants are guaranteed proper pricing, proper organic produce, proper organic knowledge in a particular cluster, or so-called cluster is nothing but a group of villages put together, or a taluk level initiative where participatory guarantee system functions. And also it is about adapting the organic village, where the whole village is encouraged to shift to organic farming through manure management, biological nitrogen harvesting, etc., through a cluster approach. That is, the whole village will turn organic. So there are two broad components. Then we have Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana. Now this has been very controversial lately, and there have been various amendments to this also. So Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana is nothing but Pradhan Mantri Fasal is your crops, so Bima is your insurance. So it is about your agriculture insurance scheme. So this is again also moving to that concept of a single market, where one nation, one scheme functions, which will replace your earlier schemes of National Agriculture Insurance Scheme and your modified National Agriculture Insurance Scheme. Then it aims to develop, or it aims to reduce the burden on the farmers of the premiums and the crop assurance. So it will also, and also we have to be very sure that who is covering this. So it's a multi-agency implementation mechanism where the central government, that is Department of Agriculture, state governments, banks, insurance, horticulture institutes, panchayati raj systems. So there are multiple bodies. So it is not just Agriculture Ministry. It could be your bank, it could be SBI, it could be cooperative society, which are implementing this scheme. So under PMFBY, what are the main features? First of all the farmers which are covering notified crops. Now, which are those crops? Oil seeds, food crops, and even horticulture produce. Even commercial crops are covered under PMFBY. So please be very careful. It is not just food crops, not just food. It is also about oil seeds. It is about horticulture, etc. And what are the coverage? What are the risks? What are the risks which are covered under Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana? So let's have a look at the risks. First of all, if a farmer or a agribusiness association was not able to do sowing, planting, or germination, so it is about prevented, because you are not able to do that because of prevailing circumstances, say labor availability or drought or weather disturbances. Then standing crop losses such as sowing to harvesting. Then most importantly, the third point, which is post-harvest losses. That is Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana will also cover post-harvest losses. Then we talk about localized calamities such as your pest attacks. Let's say we had a pest attack starting this year during the lockdown, which is pest attack because of the pest attack due to, let's say, any biohazards or moths or fleas, etc. So it could be any attack by pest. Then it is about preventing distress sale. So 1 minute. So it is about localized calamities. Then lastly, it is about add-on coverage to crop losses because of attack by wild animals. So we have instances in Bihar and Uttar Pradesh where we have crops destroyed by elephants or crop destroyed by various vermin. So that is also covered under this. So we have, a farmer can be assured of risk-free investment, which is against post-harvest losses, localized calamities, add-on coverage, etc. But important thing to note, in February 2020, the center made it voluntary. So before we had two components, which is compulsory and voluntary. But now we have only voluntary component, where compulsory component was that the Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana was compulsory for people having Kisan Credit Card. But now that is voluntary. So please note that if you had KCC before, that is Kisan Credit Card, coverage under PMFBY was compulsory, but now that is also shifted to voluntary category. Now coming to the next one, which is Gramin Bhandaran Yojana. There is nothing but a capital subsidy for creating of warehouses. Capital subsidy is nothing but 25% to 50% depending on the area you are in. That is backward area, tribal area, or a hilly area. So level of subsidy is different according to the area or the commodity you want to invest for. And it is also about capital subsidy, that is subsidy on plant and machinery. So this is about creating scientific storage. It is about promoting of grading, standardization and sorting. It is about preventing distress sale because farmers will get a appropriate place to store their produce. It is also about enabling your national warehouse system, or what we say ENWR, which is Electronic National Warehouse Receipt System. Electronic National Warehouse Receipt System. So it is about your national warehouse system. Then lastly, it is about promotion of, because it is a subsidy scheme, so it will encourage private sector cooperatives to come forward and create the scientific storage capacity and boost reduce post-harvest losses, promote processing of agriculture, which is also a key factor in farm management or food management today. Now coming to the next one, which is livestock insurance scheme. So this livestock insurance schemes, first of all, it covers all indigenous crossbred milch animals, pack animals, and also horses, donkeys, mules, camels, etc. And also it covers goats, sheep, pigs, etc. So it is a comprehensive scheme. Then also the scheme is under the component of national submission of livestock development of National Livestock Mission. So livestock insurance scheme is under a broader framework of National Livestock Mission. And also you have to note what is the implementing agency here. It's under the framework of Department of Animal Husbandry, Dairying and Fisheries. Also the body is National Project for Cattle and Buffalo Breeding, that is NPCBB. So we have to note that NPCBB, that is Cattle and Buffalo Breeding, will also be taking care of goat, sheep, pigs in terms of implementation body. So please don't get confused in the exam that it is only for, let's say, cattle and buffalo. It is the nodal body for the entire scheme. Then coming to National Scheme on Welfare for Fishermen. So this is about a scheme which will cover broad aspects of their supporting livelihoods, supporting lean periods, supporting pack houses, common infrastructure, etc. So what are the basic components or the main features, which is model fishermen villages, where you will have grading, sorting, packaging facilities, a jetty system, boats, cold storages, etc. Then about group accidental insurance for active fishermen. Then also relief in times of lean periods. So it's also a comprehensive scheme for fishermen and fishermen welfare. Lastly, we come to micro irrigation fund, which is set up under NABARD. See, now this is very important. They'll ask you questions like micro irrigation fund is under which body? So it's under NABARD. So this is a fund which will fund Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana and PDM. So this is per drop more crop. So if something is beyond the coverage of Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana and per drop more crop, even those projects will be covered under micro irrigation fund. So that is what we talked about: drip irrigation, sprinkler irrigation. So we talked about drip and sprinkler. So that is also covered under micro irrigation fund. So the corpus would be 5,000 crore. So the nodal ministry again is Ministry of Agriculture, but it is institutionalized under NABARD. So these were some schemes which will be very important for prelims this year. So any questions, please be free to comment. Thank you. Stop.